So, hey everyone, Dennis K. here, and my beautiful wife,
Stephanie.
And today is our 28th year dating anniversary.
Yay!
28 years ago today, August 1st, 1992, we had our first official date. And, now here we are, 28 years later, and I need a haircut. This hair has not been really cut since the shutdown, starting at around March 3rd.
I trimmed a tiny bit before, but he gets a little scared when I get close to his...
So this is my anniversary day haircut.
Yeah, this is my present.
So Steph's going to cut my hair today, and but to make it interesting, I guess if you like watching this kind of thing, people actually watch people get their hair cut for some reason. I don't know if that's actually a real thing, but to make it interesting to you guys who are looking at Belize, we thought we could just sort of talk about Belize and how moving there changed our lives.
Also, by the way, you're talking about this like, oh, it's no big deal that my wife's cutting my hair. I am not a stylist. I know nothing about hair. I beg him to do mine because seriously, all you have to do is go choop choop choop. He hasn't done it yet.
How do you go?
Choop choop choop.
No, you're not cutting your hair. She has beautiful hair, and I never want her to cut it.
So you gotta get the dead ends off, and I need a couple inches cut off. But, so I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. In Belize, when we lived in a village, and we were the only Americans, we were the only people with our texture of hair, and we didn't know anyone who could cut their hair. So we had someone try, and they took this piece right here and went, and it was so beautiful and long, and it gets blonde in the sun, and I was just like, I actually cried. So after that, I thought, I can't mess it up any worse, so I got a buzzer, and I started using the clippers, and this time I don't have clippers, so we're going to use the little Amazon set. So this is a bit scary for both of us.
Yeah, it's only here, it'll grow back, and that's why I have my collection of hats, because if it doesn't work out, throw on a hat, and we're good to go. So, yeah, so, Steph brought up an interesting thing, so you can start cutting.
I am.
Yeah, okay. Interesting about when we first moved to Belize, lived in a very small village called Hattieville. Had about 1,500 people living in it. And just like she said, I had nowhere to cut my hair. So that was kind of interesting for the first time. So people say, what should I know about Belize that I'm not asking or that I don't know how to ask? Well, some areas are pretty remote, and you can always find people that do things like cut hair and things like that. For instance, on Ambergris Key, my guy charged, I think, like $10 Belize, which is $5 US to cut my hair, and did a great job. Here we go. Hang on, I'm going to stop talking for a minute because this is going to be...
This is going to be scary for you?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. He's always afraid I'm going to cut his ears.
You have to be comfortable with doing unusual things or different things, right? I mean, this should not be that big of a deal. This should actually be pretty simple. But
See, do you feel
there
better
you go.
already?
Yeah, I think we're done here.
Okay, you're going to be a little lopsided.
All right.
You were saying?
Yeah, so, moving to Belize, you have to be adventurous. I read an article a couple days ago about the top 10 most successful traits of an expat. So, and a lot of them had to do with how flexible you are, how not set in your ways you are. So if you're willing to adapt, if you like, not only are you willing to adapt, because that's more like it's forced upon you and you have to do it, but if you're adventurous and you like learning about other cultures and you like conforming to other cultures and you don't have the opinion that, well, the way I do it or the way we do it or we live is the best, but be open to how other cultures live, how other peoples live, and embrace that and become a part of it rather than just having your culture and theirs clash. Now remember, you're choosing to live in their country, right? So you're there as a guest. And as such, you want to behave like a guest. Just like if somebody invited you over to their home for dinner, you want to be respectful of the house, respectful of the guest.
Don't say my wife makes that so much better. Yeah. Yours stinks.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Going to somebody's house and then providing you a big dinner and you say, I prefer my wife's cooking. It's like, no, man, you'd want to be respectful. So same way in Belize, get down there, embrace their culture, and depending on where you end up living, embrace the food. There's different types of food in different areas. For example, I was just on a Zoom call with a client who was thinking about moving to Punta Gorda. And down there, they have more of a Mayan influence and a Guatemalan influence. Yeah, so the food down there is a lot different than you would have, for instance, in, let's say, Dangriga, where you have a lot of the, what's the language that Noel speaks? Garifuna.
Yes.
So you have the Garifuna culture and the Garifuna food, like the mashed plantains, hudut.
Yes.
So yeah. So they take these ripe and green plantains, and they'll boil them to cook them, and then they'll mash them together in this big mortar and pestle.
You don't want to move a ton, bud.
And it makes that plantain into like this potato texture, and they put it in a bowl, and then they pour a coconut fish soup over it, and you eat it with your fingers. So you grab the plantain with your fingers, dip it in the coconut and the fish, and then you eat it, and it's really, really interesting. So.
And then they add like a lot of like cilantro and tomato and fresh onion and garlic, and it's amazing. They made it without fish heads for us, which was so loving and kind. And then for them, they're like, "You're crazy. Why do you not want to eat the eyeballs? That's the best part."
Yeah,
like, more for you, less for us. But we try to be very respectful, and if we'll try anything once. So if they give it to us and we would eat it, but our friends by that time realized that they were being kind, not saying, "Hey, let's watch that girl eat these eyeballs for our entertainment." So we've had iguana and all that stuff. We grew to like it.
Now say it again. We've had iguana, the big green iguanas that you see in Belize, sometimes by the rivers or on Ambergris Key. They actually eat those on the in the mainland. Mainly, they call it bush chickens.
Yeah, but we didn't know we were eating it the first time. No. Someone just gave it to us and said, here's some stuff for you to take home. We ate it, and then I realized after eating it, I'm like, wow, this is really good chicken. And then I looked at the bones, and they were kind of like this.
Chickens don't have bones like that.
I was like, wait a minute, chicken's bones aren't like that. And I was like, well, that looks like iguana. And I'm glad it went that way, because I didn't have a preconceived notion.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So don't have preconceived notions. Take things as you can, and try it.
Right.
You might like it.
Yeah. So the other night, we had found some really good desserts at a patisserie, a bakery here in Strasbourg, and that got us thinking about desserts all around the world. Because each culture or each country has their own specialty dessert. Of course, growing up in America, apple pie and ice cream. Who can beat that? Depending on the season, rhubarb pie, blueberry pie, all that kind of good stuff. But in Belize, because the country produces limes, they have a lot of key lime pie. So almost everywhere you go in Belize, they have incredible key lime pie, and it's delicious. What else do they have that you really like at Ruby's Cafe?
I have not gotten in a long time, and I miss it so much. It's Tres Leches. Because they make, which is 3 milks, and they use sweetened condensed milk and all different kinds of milks, and it's a regular cake, but then they poke holes in it and pour like a sweetened, caramelized, wonderful, like dairy-full sauce caramely in it, and then it soaks in it. So it's very dense and very wet. And it has maraschino cherries on top, which I also miss. Can't find those in France, weirdly enough. And it's just heaven. It's heaven. And they also make, remember that cold cake?
Yes.
Cold cake, it's like a pudding, and then it has like biscuits, which is like cookies, and then some fruit. Oh, it's just amazing.
It's like an island version of tiramisu.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what are some other things? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, talk about getting your hair done. I've gotten my hair dyed there. Carol Goudreau on the island is great. You can get any kind of spa things done, head to toe, all in between. And there's great professionals there, so you don't need to do this kind of thing.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to know. Thank you for that. So we're talking about moving to Belize, being an adventure, open to new experiences. Hey, how about this one, too? A lot of people are moving to Belize because it's English speaking, and they like that fact. There's a comfort level with being somewhere where you can do business in English and people speak English, but also challenge yourself to pick up a little bit of the language, the other local indigenous languages, the mother tongues. For example, Belizean Creole, really cool language. And Spanish, if you don't already speak some Spanish, learn some Spanish when you're there. If you're down in Punta Gorda or that area, pick up some local Quechua, Mopan, Maya languages. Or if you're in Spanish Lookout, let's say you're using the Mennonites to build your home that you're going to be putting up at Secret Beach. What you could do is learn a few words of Low German. So when you go to talk to them about what style house you want built, you can actually say a few words in Low German, and that warms you right up to the locals, right? People love hearing a few words in their own language, so you can do that.
Or if you're a traveler, you can work on your Spanish, your French, your German, your whatever your high school that you learned years ago and haven't, worked on, you can pick up any of those.
Yeah, sure. So what else? Yeah, just go with the spirit of adventure and go with the spirit of, I'm starting a new chapter. This is going to be awesome. I want to do something different with my life. I'm not necessarily running away from anything bad that I don't like, but I'm taking the good parts of my life and I'm taking those down bleeds with me. And I'm going to add to the new chapter of my life and start something new.
Yeah, because we have amazing families. Michigan was awesome.
Yeah.
We weren't running away from anything. We were just adding to it. And the cool part is you get to bring your people from wherever you're from to a place that they probably never would have gone unless they love you. My grandparents did that, and it was just amazing because they just ended up loving it, and I got to see their eyes light up. We don't have kids, but I think it would be like seeing, something through the eyes of a child again. So you get to let your parents know, or your brothers and sisters, or just your family, show them something different.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's one of the things that's my favorite thing.
All right. Well, how are things going here?
Well, around the ears are going good.
Okay.
It's getting so long that I'm hating to take off a ton of length.
Okay.
But I'm going to work on the back and feet. He gets these little, flippy things when he puts on his hat. He's starting to look a little, country boyish. You like those country boys?
I do. I'm a country boy at heart.
But you got to do it all the way. You can't do it halfway.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to stop the video now because she's well on her way to give me a good cut.
He's afraid, and he's moving a lot. He's afraid of these ears.
Yep. So we don't want to bore you with the rest of the haircut, but hopefully that gave you a few things to think about as far as Belize goes. If you want to hit us up on a Zoom call, you know what to do.
And thank you guys, because I, last week, had an amazing Frappuccino with caramel. Oh, it was so good, and it's because you bought me a coffee. I don't even believe that you people would even buy me a coffee. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for supporting us. Hit us up on our YouTube link below. Also, buy us a couple cups of coffee. We enjoy that, and we enjoy getting on Zoom calls with you and trying to make your dreams of living in Belize a reality. So thanks a lot for your support. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.